Smidges, this week I am suffering. I am incredibly busy. Everything is hour to hour, but I do not have the time to be scheduling a specific time frame for me to be complaining. So, I will be complaining in 2 weeks with you guys, okay? Mark it on the calendars. After this episode, our next episode, I will complain to you after I recuperate, recollect, and revitalize myself. I will be a new Alyssa because of how busy I am. This moment is changing my life. It's not that serious. I don't know why. I could basically be performing a drama right now. Anyway, in the meantime, let's just talk about my last 2 weeks since I just dropped that bombshell on you. Um, I ended up going to my two nephews' birthday party, and you know, I showed up like I was looking for a Malibu beach. I didn't get a Malibu beach, but I did get a swimming pool. So I still had my moment. And my sister, she just got her pool done. She got a hot tub and like an outdoor kitchen set up. And I went into the pool because she has this area of the pool that's in the water, but it's not too deep, so you're able to put chairs there. So I was lounging with just my legs in the water, maybe a little of my upper body in the water, but mainly I was out in the sun. Uh, Turns out you can't do that because of kids, which is why I will be getting dogs. I was laying on the lounger, and all the kids decide to get their water guns, or they decide to start splashing me. And I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to have my moment, all right? I'm trying to sunbathe. I'm trying to be like Sharpay Evans from High School Musical over here. Like, let me live. But they wouldn't. And then the water was cold. I was cold. So my niece, she starts grabbing buckets and filling it with hot tub water so she could either pour on me or let me soak my hands and feet in. And I'm like, you are absolutely nuts. I love it. Give me the water. So that was the party for me. And then also that weekend, I went to the Harry Potter store in New York. Oh, wow. It's in my new finds highlight on Instagram, and I got this purse that's the acceptance letter to Hogwarts addressed to Harry, and I got a little notebook because I am a Ravenclaw. I'm finally accepting it. For the longest time I was like, I want to be a Gryffindor. Well, too darn bad. All right, I am a Ravenclaw, and I'll scream it loud and proud. So I got that, and I also got a pen just so I could have it, you know? Why have an acceptance letter and have nothing representing your house? It's just absurd, okay? So that was my time. And then again, very weird for me, I helped on Kyle's family's farm, and this time we planted trees, and we found a really cute fuzzy caterpillar that did spit green slime on me, but that was because it was scared, alright? And also, I think that wasn't the same one I found at first. The first one I found was really nice, and I gave it an apple to eat, and the apple later on I found it smushed. So I think it might have died, but then when I saw the other caterpillar that looked exactly the same, I was like, there's no way that this isn't the caterpillar I saw. And I don't know if it's because I don't want to believe that the first caterpillar is dead, or if it's just because I know it's him. I just know. Actually, I don't even know if it's a him. But anyway, that caterpillar did live. So, yes, I'm referring to it as two caterpillars, but in my heart, I know it was one. And then I also went to Legoland. I actually just came back and it was only for the night. Obviously, definitely for children, all right? We could not go on any rides, but it was still nice to walk around and see everything, get some food there. I had a veggie burrito bowl, and then I also got street corn, and Kyle and Angel and Amy, they got I think it was apple fries that came with like whipped cream and caramel on the side. I really liked seeing the dioramas of the Legos to reflect places in the United States. So there was Las Vegas, San Francisco, New York, and it was so funny because some of the signs of the ones in New York were spin-offs of actual shows. So I think instead of the Lion King, it was the Lion Prince or the Cat Prince or something like that. I can't remember completely off the top of my head, but you get the reference. And though I did enjoy the park, I think my favorite part was the hotel. We did spend a pretty penny on it, but we did get the Legoland tickets for free, so it was definitely worth the money to splurge on the hotel. They had the pool and they had an elevator that when you would go up it, there would be a disco ball on the ceiling and it would start spinning and it would play music, so you had a little disco party. Our room was kingdom themed, and when you walked in, there was a bunch of like Legos you could play with. There was also a treasure hunt, and once you figure out the answers to the clues, you open the chest and you get two Lego parrots, but it's a 3-in-1, so it could be like a parrot, a fish, or something else, and then you get two magazines. The room also came with complimentary drinks, so we had some waters, we had coffee, there was some juice boxes, and they also had little like dioramas of Legos. They had a shield, they had a ladybug, there was a sword on the wall, and they also gave you like body wash, shower gel, conditioner, shampoo, and all that. And the coolest thing was the soap was shaped like a Lego brick. Does not get any better than that. So, yes, I was absolutely obsessed. And then, of course, we got free breakfast, which is always incredible. And they had a pajama party at night. It was for the children, but I gotta say, I danced, alright? I was having a good time. I'm on vacation. I made my own Legos. I bought some Legos, spent a lot of money, but you only live once. YOLO. Who said it first? I think it was Drake. Or maybe it was me. XOXO, Gossip Girl. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, moving on from Legoland. I actually am at a big girls gym now. And I don't even know if I told you guys what gym I was at. I was at Planet Fitness. Not discrediting it. Planet Fitness is a great gym. I just feel like I'm at a big girls gym because the gym I'm at has classes. So, I don't know if I told you guys, but in college I used to take Zumba and yoga. I just absolutely love taking classes, having that variety within my workout because weights and machines like and cardio, you can do it. It's just gets boring sometimes. You want to spice it up. So, I really wanted to go somewhere with classes and I did try kickboxing, which I absolutely loved, but what I didn't love is the possibility of having to spend $80 a month on top of like the $11 I spend for Planet Fitness. So I was like, how can I still take classes and not only kickbox classes? Like, I want to take a variety of classes, not just stick to one studio and only have the option for a couple. So I found LA Fitness with my sister and we did a 3-day trial. And we're still adjusting to it because it's very open compared to Planet Fitness. Everything's just in a line. there's a lot of mirrors, so you can't like, I can't do a deadlift with my butt facing a wall. If I do it, it's facing a mirror. Plus, there's another mirror in front of me. Like, you can't win. So I have to get used to things like that. But I do enjoy the classes. We took a cycling class, so my butt was very sore and still is to this day. But I'm going to be taking another one on Sunday when this episode comes out. And then we took Zumba today when I'm filming this. And there's still a couple other ones we're going to take. We're going to take yoga, boot camp. And then it's also cool because they have this turf where you could maybe stretch or do ab workouts or just your regular routine. They have racquetball courts, volleyball courts, basketball courts. So it's a lot to take in. Again, we are still adjusting, but I am very happy that I made this decision so far. It is a little bit more expensive with, the initial fee, the monthly membership. What else do we have to pay for? The yearly fee, but once it's going, it won't seem like that much, and especially with how many times I'm going, how many classes I'm taking, it's definitely going to be worth the money I'm spending. Now, that was a little brief today. I don't really have too much, mostly because I can't even remember what went on these past couple weeks. So I just want to welcome everyone to the Smidging Hour. It's Alyssa, and today we are being joined by my godmother Grace to kind of just chat. There's some things that we think differently on, and I'm going to try and see her view on it, see if she sees mine, and see maybe what we still disagree on. So let's roll.
How am I supposed to be looking at you?
Oh my god. Oh, I didn't realize how low that was. I almost died. Let me get a pillow. Okay. So we disagree on a lot when it comes to supernatural stuff. I know I had you on the podcast, not podcast. I had you on the Broadway Bulletin when I was doing that radio show because that was more like relevant to you. And again, this isn't really a relevant topic to you, but you also have done some things with me that would make you fit into the realm of this show. And also I just think it's nice to have a different point of view on, because everyone I have on like believes in everything. So first I wanted to talk about our Salem trip. Now, I don't know how much you remember of it, but I wrote down notes so I could remember your encounter there. So if you want to just tell me what you thought of Salem before we get into like the reading we got done and everything.
I like Salem. Salem was a nice place to visit. I like doing the tours. I know they have a lot of like spooky story things where people have come and gone, and they believe that people have come and done different things to different people and then disappeared. And I don't know if I believe in all of it, but it's like a story of Salem where you go and you visit and they tell you all these things that have happened there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, with the Salem witch trials and everything, like, do you believe in witches and stuff?
I don't know if I so much believe in witches. Do I think some people can be kind of possessed? Like, I think there's sometimes just a devil in people, that people are just mean. Um, you know,
So, like, do you believe in the devil?
yes,
Or, like,
yeah, I think there's evil. Yes, devil, evil, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about, because in Salem, like, yeah, they kind of make it seem like witches, where it has, like, the warts on their nose and, like, the giant pointy hats. But there's people who practice witchcraft that aren't like that, where they'll use herbs and crystals like we have here. Like, do you believe in that power of, like, doing rituals or spells, or even, like, um, charging your crystals in the moon, or even the properties of crystals. Like some crystals are for love or prosperity, or I don't really
Yeah,
know
I
too
guess
much
so.
about
I guess if
crystals.
you believe in that, everybody has to believe in something and have faith. Do I think that they have, the power to believe in things? Yeah, I do. Yes.
So is it partially like you? So like, if you don't believe in it, you're like okay with believing someone else could believe in it. You're like, well, maybe I don't think it's real, but if they think it's real, okay.
Well, a lot of my belief is I need to see facts. I need
Okay.
to see things happen to know that it's actually that it's out there, that it's real. Like you hear things that have happened many years ago. We're told things, and you're just told to, well, this is what happened, and that's what happened.
And you're
But
just expected to believe in
and
it.
then you're just expected to believe in a lot of things. Do I believe there's extra powers out there? Like your mind can control things. I think you can control your mind. I think that has a lot to do with you. But do I think there's like a lot of crazy beings out there? I don't believe that. I just don't,
Unless you saw it.
unless I saw it, because we're told that there's extraterrestrial. We're told that there's other life people out there. We're told that you know there's just things out in outer space, but yet, and if it's out there, do I believe that the government can hide what they want to hide? Yes. Till there's actual facts. That's my belief.
So you need to like see it for
I
yourself.
need to have out and out proof that this stuff is real. Do I think it can happen? Yeah, it can happen. But just by somebody saying so, it's hard for me to kind of grab.
I mean, I get that because with my beliefs, I'm kind of one of those people that if you tell me something like, yeah, I'll have it in the back of my head, but I'm not going to believe something until I see it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I guess, more when people are talking about other people.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like supernatural things, I would like to believe it just because I think it's cool and like who knows what's out there. And even if it's lies, like just the idea of it that someone was able to create this
Mm-hmm.
and whole story and myth and like all these people jumped on board for it, I just think that's cool. Um, so when we went to Salem, we obviously went to like museums that told about the Salem witch trials. We walked around stores, went to just regular museums, and we also decided to do a tarot card reading.
Yes.
So I was gonna have you talk about yours because I've mainly talked about mine. I'll do like a brief recap for everyone, but they've never heard yours.
I remember the lady telling me my main concern was I've always had back problems, and I said to her I was concerned about my back, and she says you're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Which I continued to have back problems, and then I had to have surgery. So
Surgery on your back?
surgery on my
Okay.
back. I had to have surgery on my back, which now my back is good.
Mm.
Ever since the surgery. And then she told me that I would eventually meet someone, a
I thought that was the
gentleman.
other guy.
Yeah, because I had gone to two
She went
readings.
to two because she didn't believe the first person,
Correct.
which isn't okay.
Right. But I've been to other people. Years ago, I went to a lady locally that did a reading, and we used to go to her pretty frequently. And I know someone that went there, and they did say to them, I see you in a uniform, and then eventually you got a job in a uniform. So do I believe that do they have psychic powers, some of them? Yeah, I do. I think to some degree they can, but then do I believe it's all true? No. I mean, I think there's some factuality to it, but not totally everything. And sometimes I think they just pick stuff out and they look to see your response and what you're going to say.
Now, do you feel like when they tell you these things, you're going to try and make them happen? Like, do you
No.
think it can, hearing what they say, influence your decisions in the future?
Well, I think if they give you positive things, that it's always good to be given positive feedback, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes you, because I believe you are controlled by your mind. If you think positive and you're going to be positive. If you're the type of person that's down and, you know, you're not really a positive person, that affects your body. So, because they'll say, do you want to hear everything? And I go, yeah, I want to hear everything, good, bad.
Mm.
I want to know what they predict to see.
I remember when you went to the second guy and he told you the same thing, that your back was going to be fine. And then he told you about how you would meet a man and everything. Like, apparently the man had a kid. And you were like, oh no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So, and that man never came along. So,
yeah.
that was the end of that. But the back thing, like I said, because I've always had some health issues with my back. So, and you always want to hear you're going to be okay. That's the main thing. Regardless, you just want to hear you're going to be okay. So I took that and went with that, and I am okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to have surgery on my back, but my back is good. So.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for me, it's kind of scary when you go to get your reading done or something, because you're always in the back of your head like, what if I get bad news? What if they tell me like I'm gonna die soon or something like that? And obviously I don't think they would go out of their way and say like negative stuff like that, but I do feel like it has influenced my decisions in the future of like going forward from that moment, what I did, because she was telling me how um, she saw like I had like motherly issues. And I was like, yeah, me and my mom butt heads. And then she was also telling me how it seemed like I was going through like some sort of breakup. And at the time, I was talking to someone and I stopped talking to them. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's weird. Yeah, sort of. And she was like, but it's okay. Like, it seems like you were sort of like taking care of them. And like, that's something you've done in like all your relationships. Like, you make sure their needs are met. And she was like, you're gonna find someone where like you're put first and like you set boundaries of what you want and what you need. And this is gonna be like your first real relationship. It's gonna be a long term relationship. You're going to get married, have kids, advancing your careers, move into bigger houses, and expand, whatever. And I felt like because of that, every time I met someone, I was looking for that quality in them. I was like, oh my God, is this the one? Is this going to happen? And also, she did tell me it was more so not necessarily meeting someone, but I took it as like meeting someone new. She was saying it as like you're you might already have someone in your life, but you're seeing them in this light for the first time. So like I was looking for all these qualities. Originally I was looking for someone who just was new. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, it has to be someone new. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, maybe it doesn't. But I feel like again, that's been in the back of my head. So it's like, do I wanna get readings in the future, because then I'm just gonna influence my decisions on it.
Yeah, but it's always, I think it's a fun thing to go and
I
see what they
know.
have to say.
Yeah.
And then you pick up a little here and a little there. And if it's something,
I
you
know.
don't.
I just like to tell everyone how good my reading was. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to marry the man of my dreams.
Well, you're going to be successful if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
And hopefully she's
It puts
right.
in
I
the
mean, if there's
cards.
any truth to any of that, hopefully it is true that you will be sick. But I think a lot of that is you yourself. Once again, do they have the powers to read? I think it's anything's possible.
Hmm.
Anything is possible. I mean, in
No, that was the only reading you've gotten?
there, you mean? No,
No,
I
in general.
oh
Like,
no,
what other readings have you
I've
had?
gone to card readings in the past many years ago. We used to
Mm-hmm.
go pretty frequently, and then we stopped going. I can't remember everything she said back then. I mean,
Was it the same woman over and over again, or you
for
went
a couple
to?
of times, yeah, we used to go and we would just get a reading. And of course, when you go, you want to hear, oh, everything's going to be great, and
Mm.
you're going to live happily after, and you want to hear all kinds of good
Do
stuff.
you
And
remember, like, ever asking anything in specific? Or it was kind of just like a checkup type of thing?
yeah, nothing in specific. Like, just as always with my health, am I going to be healthy? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to do okay?
And look at
Everybody
you
wants to
now.
know that, What?
I said, and look at you now.
Yeah, that's basically all, and like, she said you're a hard worker, which I am, and you thrive and you want to do things and you want to, get somewhere in life, and that's you, determination. I think that's, you gotta, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna go after it and you're gonna, try to get what you want out of life, you
No.
know.
Moving on to other people who are able to like harness these powers. Um, have you ever gone to a medium or known anyone to go to a medium?
Yes, yes.
You have, or someone
I
you
know
know?
someone that
Okay.
has gone. Matter of fact, you know them also. And actually, I was talking to her about doing the podcast with you because they have had a medium go to their house and they have ghosts in their house. And she
Oh.
also told me to tell you if you ever want to go there and do this, you're more than welcome to go.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, yes.
Okay. And they had the woman go to the house and the person, the ghost, spoke to them. And she hears sounds in the house. Like they could be in the house and they hear something happening somewhere else. And she believes it's that person coming to them and talking to them.
See, I would have loved to have a medium in our old house because in our old house, I do believe it was haunted. I remember you would be in the shower and you would hear like banging on the door or like someone running down the hallway. And I don't know, like my room, because growing up, I mainly slept in my mom's room, and even my sister, she was like sleeping on the floor in there. And I feel like partially it wasn't even because we couldn't like sleep on our own. It's just like it felt very uncomfortable to sleep alone. And I don't know if it's just because like my room was so big and like my bed was on like one wall and then there's all this open space, but like I was just always scared to go to sleep with like the darkness. So like I would force my dad to leave the hall light on, and even then I had trouble sleeping. And there were even times where I know Amanda, she one time woke up from her room and was like going to go to the bathroom. So she like turned the corner of the hallway, and our hallway used to lead to the living room and then the kitchen. And she swears on her life that she saw our cousin who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
She swore that she saw him like in the hallway at the end of it. And she like turned around, blinked, and like it was gone. And then even especially once Mia was born, she would laugh at like corners or walls and stuff like that. And she used to have like a play kitchen, and then she used to have those balls that you would hit it and it would light up. And I was told that when they would like put her to bed and everything and they'd be all asleep downstairs, the bubbling of the stove would go off on her play kitchen.
Huh.
And they even like took the batteries out of it or something like that and it would still do it, or her ball would light up. No one would touch it, it would just light up, so they had to like put it in drawers to hide it. So I would have loved to see a medium go there and be like confirm that it was maybe our cousin, or at one point we thought maybe it was like our grandpa, like wanting to see the baby because he was so close with Tara, so seeing her child could have been important to him.
Mm-hmm.
um so does that mean you believe in ghosts?
Oh yeah, I think there's ghosts.
Okay.
I think there could be ghosts, people that have passed on and have wanted to come back, or they're in the house, or they want to see if you're okay and just make sure everything is all right. Yeah, that I believe in. I believe there are ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe there's like other people from other planets out there. I just can't.
Now, if you believe that like ghosts can come back and stuff, I know you don't believe or like fully in reincarnation. Is that right?
Um, I would never want to be reincarnated.
Do you think it's possible? Because if like ghosts, like if you believe in ghosts, you believe that their like entity is here and that there's enough energy for them to communicate, but do you believe that they can be reborn?
I don't know. I don't know if you can really be reborn, and who would want to come back? I mean, who would who would you want to come back as, and how would you even know if you came back? That's what I'm saying. Like they say, you come back reincarnated. How do you know?
Mm.
Like I know they have that deja vu where oh, I've been there before. Is that part of reincarnation? Who knows? I mean,
I've even heard about that, how
yeah,
like some people speculated, oh, is deja vu just like past life
right.
memories?
That you've experienced it
Yeah.
before. You've been here. Like they say, if you are somewhere and you go, oh, I've been there before. I remember that. But it's not like everything is remembered. It's just like a bit here and a piece there and a part there. And oh, I remember that somewhat. It's what they call deja vu, where you've been there before, you've experienced before. But how do you know? It's like, has anybody ever come back? They say nobody's ever come back to say, hey, I'm back. So how do you know if you're coming back? Or how do you know if somebody's ever come back? You don't know that.
I know there's been like some articles where um, children more so will remember like past experiences or like go somewhere and be like, oh, I remember this. I did an episode on these twins who passed away from like a car accident, and then their parents had another set of twins, girls too, and they would like split the toys of the past sisters evenly, like they knew what was theirs. They were like scared of cars for some reason, so a lot of people believed like those children were reincarnated into the new twins. But the problem is too is I think that as you get older you forget that past life, because
Could
like the girls as they got older they were like, I don't remember ever having these similarities to my sisters, or like even that kid who was saying like he remembered all these places and everything, I think as he got older he forgot it too. I like to believe it just because I like to believe there's something after this, because like I don't want to believe that it's just all over one day. I'd like to believe that it continues and you get to keep trying or keep experiencing new things. Because I feel like if ghosts are able to be there, like why can't they come
Well,
back?
aren't ghosts considered the spirit of a person? Like the spirit
Yeah,
comes
so they're
back?
the spirit, and I think that reincarnation is more like, well, I don't, it's hard to say because I know ghosts you usually say, oh, they must have like some sort of like unfinished business or something like that. So then it's like, how do you decipher who gets reincarnated and who becomes a ghost? So I could see how there's that blurred line of like, well, there's ghosts, but then why aren't they all being reincarnated? So then does reincarnation not exist? I can
Yeah,
see
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like who comes back? Is it people that only want to come back? Is it people that have a strong spirit come back?
Mm-hmm.
How do we know who decides who comes back and who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
And I think dying, you are really at peace. And do I believe in a heaven? I believe after here, you're at peace forever. You're not suffering anymore. Do I believe there's a hell? I think being on earth is hell. I think you're being tested every day. I think if you can live on this earth, that's your test, boy. I believe that. Every day is a test.
So do you believe it only goes up from here?
I think it
Like
only
you
gets
don't think
better.
that people will be punished in hell after death?
No, I think
Everyone finds peace.
right. I think everyone finds peace, and I think that yeah, you find peace, and I think along the way, certain things that happen to you, I think are meant to happen. Some of it you can determine and make your path, and some of it is just whatever's meant to be is going to be.
I remember when I was younger, I told you to come back as a dog. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I said that because no one ever allowed me to have a dog, and I really wanted a dog, and if it was going to be a dog, it was going to be you. Who
is that a
knows? Maybe you'll unintentionally be
is
reincarnated
that a
as a
little
dog.
dog or a big dog?
I think that my first dog will be a Frenchie.
Oh,
The little French bulldogs. I know that they have issues breathing and stuff like that, and it's really bad that they even exist because we're forcing them to, and they don't deserve that pain. But I love him. I love them, and I'll take care of them. I'll have a Frenchie. Kyle will have a corgi, and then we'll get a couple others.
Oh,
Who needs kids when you could have dogs?
dogs.
They're basically kids, and they leave you alone, and you don't have to pay for tuition.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
for
that's
sure.
a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Um, but even saying that, I know some people they might like pass away, and before they go, they tell their family like, "Oh, whenever you see a butterfly, like it's me," or something like that. And then all of a sudden, they're seeing butterflies everywhere. I don't know if that's necessarily them being reincarnated or if it's just like that energy they created being like, oh, here are
Well,
these
I think
butterflies,
they,
or it's like you're looking out for it.
right, I think they'll implant certain things because I think as you're growing up, certain things will make you, will remind you of them, like a certain song. So
Yeah.
every time you hear that song, you'll think of them. Or something that you did when you go to do that, you'll think of them, good times that you've done with them. And then there could be some bad times too that you've done with them, but you'll always try to remember the good times that you spent with them for good memories.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, well, when I'm gone, remember this, or you remember what you were taught, or what they showed you, or where they took you, and you'll always have memories of them in the back of your mind.
So, in regards to that, because before we're talking about like mediums and stuff like that, and in relation to like passing relatives and stuff, when I was on the podcast and we were still connected to the radio station, we had readings done. I think Molly had hers done, but then I had like a medium session, and I did it for my grandma. And she was basically telling me how she saw my grandma like dancing in the kitchen or something like that with a man, and it looked like he died tragically. And I was like, oh yeah, like they would cook dinner together and like sing and stuff like that. Like that's probably my grandfather. I never met him because I wasn't born. But he died of a heart attack or something along those lines. And then she was saying how like she saw a cat, and I was like, oh, she lived with my uncle Steven, and like he had a cat. Um, there was all these other things, like she said she saw her nails done and her hair, like she showed me her nails, and I was like, yeah, that's my dad would do her nails, and even before that, like she always had to be pristine with her hair and her nails. And there was just a bunch of other stuff. Do you think that anyone can like access that part of their mind where they're able to communicate with the dead, or do you think that
You mean as far
the
as the
dead
medium
reach out
goes?
to certain people?
To the medium, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of them just have that power in them that they can communicate with people.
Do you
I
think
believe that.
anyone can reach it?
I think it's something that you're born with. I think, just something that you have because there's some very well known mediums, that have been either on television or have been, on the news or like even the law enforcement, I use them to find like things, to do with a crime or something. Do I think that's power is in some people? Yeah. Just like, some people can work with their hands. I think that's just how you're born, that you have that talent. You can work with your hands. Some work with their mind. Just like a medium, I think that's just born into them, that they're born psychic. And there's a couple.
So, like, basically, ghosts can interact wherever. Like, they could interact in your house or something, but obviously that doesn't mean you're a medium because they're not directly communicating with you, and only certain people have that power to communicate with them.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think some people just have it.
Mm.
And, they can, read minds or read tarots or, tell the future or. And yet, there's some people that pretend to have it and don't have it. They'll
Do you
go out
believe
there.
in the people on the TV shows?
I saw a few on there that I thought were pretty on spot. Like years ago on TV, they used to have a.
What was it? Like Teresa, the Long Island medium?
Well, she's still around.
Yeah. I don't know any others
There's John
besides her.
Edwards. He's really good. It's a guy. He's been on television.
Mm.
There was another woman that she used to be on a talk show. She used to go on the talk show all the time, and she would pick people out of the audience and read, psychic with them. Like she would, look out in the audience and say, somewhere over here, you have blah blah blah, and she'd be able to pick people out and be able to find little things with them. I think there's some people, and they're not always on spot all the time, but a lot of times it's just amazing how they can really pick stuff out from just being there and the powers coming through to them.
I think it's so interesting because I listened to this other podcast and they had a medium on it, and I didn't know that they helped in like police investigations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I remember they were saying how, like, with the whole Gabby Petito case, how they were trying to connect to her and stuff like that, and how they were seeing as like, oh, like she's been dead for a little while now, like it's definitely like him, like she's showing signs that it's him. And for a while he was saying this like all publicly, and then he was like, maybe like I should back off because it's not right to the family, like it's just causing this mass hysteria because the case is still ongoing and everything. But that doesn't discredit anything he said. Like everything he said was true, and he'll continue to get cases to help be like, oh, who murdered this person and stuff like that. I think that's so interesting.
Oh yeah, law enforcement in the past, they've gone to people to see what they could find out, and a lot of times they're able to pick out some things that comes to them, as far as a crime being committed, to help them try to solve it, or look into, just tell them different things that they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's been helpful in that way. Yeah, definitely.
People in Nevada, they'll keep it alive even though the government is like, no, it's not a thing.
Exactly.
By having the tours, by having restaurants that are UFO themed, by having a highway that's the extraterrestrial highway.
Right.
So it's like,
because you don't know.
Are they saying they're seeing these sightings, or are they saying like, oh yeah, there's aliens there just to keep making revenue?
Possibly, because you don't know what's behind them gates. They're telling you what they want you to know.
Yeah.
You don't know. Back there could be, like you said, weapons. Back there could be anything to do with the government. You never know what's back there. They're just telling you that, and you can't go to see that. Is it possible that the government can hide and tell you something that could be? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it possible they could tell you something that ain't there? Yes. I think the government's capable of telling you anything and covering up whatever they want to cover up, and we'll never know. We'll just never know. Are there secrets? Yeah, there are secrets. But to me, in my world, I have to have actual proof or to see that they're there. Like you keep hearing, well, there's aliens, there's people from outer space, there's spaceships, they've seen sightings. Okay, if they're there, well, where are they? Like, why are they, people say to me, you don't believe that there's people out there? Until I've actually seen something, it's hard for me to say that I believe that.
Do you think it could be people like us, just maybe more advanced? Because I know a lot of people, when they think aliens, they think of like green,
right,
bug-eyed monsters.
But where are they living? That's what I said. Where do they live? Like, are they on Mars? We can't even get on Mars. Where are they living?
Could be a planet, could be in a spaceship, could be here, underground or something.
Yeah, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. You don't know. So it's hard to believe in something that you've actually, you're taught that's what you believe. Just like you're taught to believe there's a heaven and a hell. You're taught that. Has anybody ever seen a heaven that nobody's ever come back to say, hey, listen, I've been to heaven and this is what it's like there? No, you don't know.
And I guess I think it's hard because people can say that, or say aliens are real and like say they've had sightings and stuff like that. But how do you believe just what someone says?
Right. Something that you've never seen. You're just told to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But do I believe that your spirit can come back and stay in touch with you? I kind of do believe, because I think if you have somebody in your heart, they'll always be in your heart. And I think through your lifetime, they'll always communicate with you in some way or another, or at least that's what you believe. And if that's what gets you through it, because you're going to see if a person dies and you want to communicate with them, it's always going to be good communication. It's not going to be bad, because you're going to want to see the good side.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to be a part of, you'll talk to them and say, guide me or direct me, or, I remember doing this with you, or I remember doing that, or I've been here with you. You're going to have good memories. You're going to try not to have bad memories of somebody.
I remember when my grandpa passed away, my sisters and my mom would always say, oh, if you ever feel like a tickling on your feet, that's probably him, because he used to like tickle our feet as kids.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't eat eggs, but when I would be I have very few memories of him just because I was so young, but I remember when I would go to his house, he would make hard-boiled eggs and he'd eat them, and he would give me the spoon and he'd let me crack off the shell. So now, like, whenever I think of something like that, I think of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You always have certain memories of people, certain things that'll trigger a memory of something that happened in your life to bring that memory of that person back. Could that be the spirit talking to you? Could be. Could that be them saying, hey, you know what? You keep them alive. You keep them alive in your memory.
Yeah, it could either be them bringing these signs to you, or
sure.
It could be you just having that in the back of your head.
And then when they say that, you'll meet people later, like after you die, like there's some people that are evil while you're alive, that when I die, I don't want to see them people. I wouldn't want to see evil or people that were nasty. Like, hopefully, if we do reconnect with anybody after we are dead, the people that were bad or were mean
are gone.
I don't want to see them. Like, why would I want to see them then? Because I didn't want to see them while I was here. So I don't want to see them while I'm there either. And if that's true, there's like some people that I definitely just don't want to see.
Yeah.
It's just...
What if they're not evil anymore?
Well, I don't know if they're not evil anymore.
Because if you're finding peace, like, I would think it would be everyone that is brought to you in that life.
I don't know. I guess I gotta wait and see when I die. See if I meet them and they're happy and they're not evil when I meet them.
You're gonna have to send me a sign or something to let me know.
Say, oh, you know what? They've changed. Oh, now they're good people. They're not evil no more.
I mean, for all we know, you could forget about all the bad that was done.
When you die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So you could see those people and they're not bad people to you.
Well, they say that when you die, you don't have pain anymore. You don't have, everything. You're good because you're gone and you're at peace and you're with the Lord.
We'll see.
And there's no more unhappiness and no more suffering. That's one thing. There's no more pain. So hopefully.
Alrighty, guys. So it is back to just me. And before we close out the show, we are going to get into our... You know it. Come on. Everyone say it. Nebula check. Nebula check.
Nebula check.
Oh God, I am so sorry. I will never do that again. I was just trying to make it different, I said I would do it differently each time, but that was too extreme. It was a lie even for me. I get it. It's fine. I won't do it again. So, let's see what is going on for my weekly horoscope. Okay, Smitches, so focus of the week is shifting gears. Okay. Love is at 75%, career is at 90%, and business is at 65%. You feel a sense of change is in the air this week as you approach the activities and events of your life with a deepening understanding. On Wednesday, the moon aligns with Mars, which supports you in seeing which direction you want to turn your attention toward. See that you do have the ability to change at least some things up at this time if that feels right for you. Huh. Okay. You know what? Before I say anything, I'm just going to keep reading. So, relationships are in focus when the moon meets up with Saturn in opposition to your sign on Thursday. This will be a time to figure things out with another person, with increased attention being placed on boundaries, desires, and aspects of your dynamics. On Sunday, make time to have a relaxed date or meet up. Interesting. When it comes to wellness this week, you can be specific about your physical self care needs and take action as a result. You will notice details need to take up more space at this time. Therefore, be precise as you deeply listen to your body's needs. Oh my. Okay. The last paragraph, and then I'll tell you everything that I have in my mind right now. Social connections get especially fun over the weekend when the moon and Jupiter meet up. This dynamic energy can bring out the desire to celebrate something, go to a party, or just enjoy the company of others. It is a great time for being spontaneous. I said I have so much to say, and I don't even know what to say. Okay, so again, it's saying about shifting gears, right? Right? We're all on the same page. Now, as I said in the beginning, very, very busy week for me. With relationships, let's start with that. It's saying, we're going to unpack this. Okay. So, it's saying, on Sunday, make time to have a relaxed date or meetup. Sunday, I am having a meetup. Not only with my boyfriend, it's with my sister, dad, and my godmother. We're all going to see Funny Girl with Leah Michelle. So, not necessarily like only with my boyfriend, but still, relationships don't just have to be boyfriend relationships, could be friend relationships, could be family relationships. So, you see where I'm going with this. Now, then we get to wellness, right? Talking about physical self-care, being precise and deeply listening to my body's needs. Did I not just say in the beginning how I went to a new gym, how I'm taking classes now, how I'm doing all these things to spice it up? I have no words. This is real. This is real. And it's crazy because we just talked about all this stuff. Oh my god, I should have asked her about horoscopes. It's okay, we'll do it another time. But like, you're kidding. You're kidding. Absolutely insane. It's also, I just find it so funny how my personality switches completely, does a whole 360. Like, I'll be in the beginning of the podcast, so crazy, right? And then in the middle of the podcast, I'm talking about the topic, very serious, getting my point across, maybe interviewing someone, very serious, maybe having a couple laughs, but still focus. And now I'm a maniac again. I kind of love it. Okay, so then it's saying about dynamic energy, bringing out the desire to celebrate something, going to a party, or just enjoying the company of others. Again, busy weekend because I have so many plans with others. I got a birthday party to go to. I love how I said I wasn't going to tell you all these things until 2 weeks, and now I'm telling you them. But I'm going to give you the broad scope of it, so you have to come back and listen to the full thing. But anyway, I got a party to go to for a birthday party. I got a regular party to go to down the shore. Saturday, I got a date. And then Sunday, I got Funny Girl. So, wow. I need to go after that. It is 10:40 at night. I gotta get to bed. That was I just threw my phone at my computer. It's fine. I have to go. A lot a lot just was unpacked, and I don't think I was mentally prepared for all of that at this time. So, I would like to thank you all for listening, and if you can like and subscribe to us on YouTube, you know the drill, as well as follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And if there is the opportunity, please, I gotta stop. I've been hitting my ears on the wall. I'm hitting the mic. I'm hitting my computer. Clearly, the universe is saying, Alyssa, wrap this up. You've been talking too long. Everyone's sick of you. If you would like to, or if you have the opportunity on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to like us or rate us, please do. Besides that, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at the Smidging Hour. As for my personal, you know it, it's Alyssa Grace _X on Instagram, truly. My smidges, again, I want to thank you, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.